when I was a kid, I'm like the fruit that my grandmother raised. And now as a man, I'm like ripening, and I'm like the fruits of my grandmother's labor, because my grandmother literally picked the fields. So there's a whole lot of like symbolism with that album, because it's me going back to my roots. Also lyrically too, it's kind of like I'm giving you like
Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to build the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower, to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower, to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower, to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower, to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. He wed Prada, the devil like inside your box now, while the angels fly over my headstone.
We are back with another episode of the God's Hour podcast with your boy Big Sir Bavelli, back in the place to be, La Merca Superior, Palace 81 Studios. We are live in effect, live and direct. It's your boy Mr. 9 Times and Presley in his little spiffy little Bill Cosby vest. Look at that, buddy. Look at you. You're looking like a fucking cereal Spanish flyer, huh? Cereal Spanish fly, that's what you are in my eye. Hi. No, you didn't like that one? He's super tired because fucking we went on a crazy walk, bruh. And this is how I know he's getting old, bruh. He was hanging back. I said, bruh, you good? Come on now. We gotta get this walk going on. And he was hanging back. So maybe I gotta fucking, what do? We probably did like 4 kilometers? So maybe 3 at the maximum, because he was already hanging back. Once I feel like he's hanging back, I think I'm gonna we're gonna call it a day and shit at that point. Hold on. I got a new fucking laptop, oh shit. And I'm gonna need a new phone soon. But what is it? I got a new MacBook Pro and shit. Got it on a Black Friday deal. Fucking super steal, bro. That shit, it's a 21, and it's a 21 MacBook Pro, and it's got all the fucking processors and all that shit. So I don't know too much about the fucking thing, but I just know that it's fire, and we're gonna get it cooking and cracking. So this is the new episode on my new laptop, and it's Mr. 3 Laptops in the building. Holla at your boy. Today's mathematics is December 2nd, 2025, which means it is wisdom, right? So we could gain wisdom from any and everything in life. We could gain wisdom from our own experiences, and we could gain wisdom from the experiences of others. A smart man learns from his mistakes, but a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. Shout out to fucking, is it Power? I don't think it's Divine, but I think it's either Power or Divine. I think it's Divine from Wu-Tang Clan. He said that in, I don't know if it was of Mike's and Men, but one of the crazy, I think it is of Mike's and Men, but that documentary is crazy. I love the Wu-Tang Clan, and that documentary is fucking awesome. Just them documenting kind of like that behind the scenes. There's so many countless Wu-Tang documentary shits out there, but there's 2 that I really, really like. Of Mike's and Men is one of them, and I forgot the other one. Whatever, it might have been HBO or Showtime, one of those where they break down ODB and his kind of trajectory in the Wu, going from like he signed to, I think he signed to either Def Jam or Rockefeller, but I think it was Def Jam that he was on when he got out of prison in like the early 2000s. Like he passed away right after he got out. Like he was on the run, he gets out, and then he passes away not too long after that. And that was a heartbreaking episode for me, because it just seemed like ODB was such a free spirit, and he either had like a lack of understanding of the music business, or he just didn't care, or maybe both, because it's just, it's wild to me. And it's one of those unfortunate things where in life, if you don't make the decisions get made for you. So you got to have some sort of control over your actions and your decisions, because if not, the shit will get real fast. And I think just with when we're talking about wisdom, it's like I would hope you would learn from your mistakes, because if you're not and you're just letting the bullshit slide and you're not learning from it, it's a very big detriment. That's why it's number 2. Number 1 is knowledge. We have to know. We have to know things first. Our wisdom comes from our understanding of the knowledge, not understanding itself, because understanding is number 3. We have a better understanding of the knowledge. So when we go to understanding our knowledge to the wisdom, we get a better understanding. When we achieve the wisdom, when we understand more, then we're at number 3. But if we're just talking about wisdom, we're learning from our knowledge. That's what it is. We're learning from our knowledge. That's wisdom, to gain an understanding, which is the next step. But just when we all make our decisions, man, we have to like make sure that we're real kind of I always say cognizant, but I'm trying to think of other words. We have a better understanding of what our actions do and how they affect other people. You know, you might not think that your actions of everyone and affects everything and everybody. It's like dominoes, man. Once they fall over, them shits is knocking down everything. You know, with me, it's kind of like today, fucking, I was driving like a dickhead, but not really on purpose. It was because like I thought I was able to, because I forgot that the street didn't have a right turn only, and I thought I was able to shimmy out that shit, go from the left lane, cut through the middle, and then hit the right. But I thought there was like a traffic jam or something, so I try to move forward and go in on what I thought was more space, but all of the cars were tight, so I was like, fuck. Then I had to brake to basically cut into the lane to make the right. And the car behind me, fucking, I basically held him up and he was honking at me and shit. And I didn't really care, you know what I mean? But it's just, when we're going back to the wisdom, it's like, yeah, bro, you gotta don't be a dickhead like that. Don't drive like an asshole. There's too many people in Cali that are asshole drivers anyway, and we don't need any more. So I apologize in public to whoever that was. You know, I try not to let my actions affect others negatively. I try to keep that in check. But with driving, man, I'm a fucking asshole. So knock on wood, nothing happens to anybody or anything anywhere at any time. It's just we could keep it all cool. And, you know, I try not to, you know, because I'm not going to lie, man. I drive like a psycho sometimes. But that's just because, I don't know, I be all up in my, you know, driving shit. Like, I need to get to work and all that. But really, realistically, bro, nobody needs to drive like fucking crazy. I just hate driving because of that, because I get fucking anxiety and I hate that feeling. To escape that, I fucking go speeding and shit. So whatever, right? Today's drip check, we have Air Max, potted Air Max DN8s. These are like the fucking gold ones. These are hard as fuck. These beautiful fucking dark navy 514s. The artillery fucking, it's kind of like a sand Imperial on the front, you know, simple Timex. I'm pretty sure this is a garnet fucking ring, and then a jade pinky, and then we got the winch who's tired from his walk. Yes. What's been going on in my life? You know, I was hella busy today. I woke up. Yesterday was more so chilling. I think I just did all my laundry and shit. Fucking, I took the water out of the pond, and man, and bro, one of our koi fish has dropsy, which is like there's excess fluid in the fish, and they become bloated, and because of them, they get bloated. They're swimming at the bottom. And it's basically like them having like kidney disease. And once their scales like poke out, they're fucked. Like, that's it. But the fish has had dropsy for weeks now. But it's fucking sad because its eyes are white and they're like popping out of its face or whatever. It's its eyes are popping out. So I don't know, man. I think I'm just gonna watch it for another week more and then come to a decision, because I called the koi place, and they're like, yeah, man, unfortunately your fish is fucking dying, and you'd want to euthanize it humanely because to end its suffering, because it's suffering right now. And I was just thinking about my grandmother and shit like that. So I was like, so I think I'm just gonna buy Yelera, and then what is it? I think it's fucking some sort of oil, clove oil, where you put it to sleep. But I gotta make sure, like I gotta call them and make sure that I do it right, because I heard if you just dump clove oil, you actually fucking give it a painful death, versus you have to like put a certain amount, like measure it with the water, mix it real good so the fish can go to sleep. Then you add more to euthanize the fish. And I don't want to fucking kill any of my fishes painfully. I want, they live like really good lives. I would think so. I wouldn't know what it's like to be a fucking fish in my pond, but being that people have like 300-gallon ponds and have like 40 fish in them, is like you're basically putting them in like solitary confinement, with like fucking 20 people in one room. How would you like it? Why don't you just 10 of your homies fucking chill in your bathroom, whatever bathroom you have, maybe not 10, but maybe like 5 or 6, and go chill in your bathroom, and then like eat and take shit and live like that for one day. You're gonna fucking go crazy, right? So you got to think about it like that. So one of the fishes has dropsy, and I've been keeping an eye on my fish, and this is the first fish that I know that from the over like 10 years that we've had the pond for like, let's say if it was like '08, yeah, we've had the pond for like 13 years already. So it's kind of like, right, what is it? Oh, 15. Is it more if it's '08? 17 years. So maybe, yeah, it's definitely been, yeah, because I was a kid. I was a younger kid. So yeah, if we've had the pond for like, yeah, like almost a dub and shit. So, and like all of them, I think the biggest koi, the mama, I want to say we've had her for at least 10 years. She's at least 10 years old. And then the babies are probably like maybe like 8 or something like that. The two, there was 4 of them, and then fucking 2 died. But we've had those for a long time. I know exactly what fish are newer and which ones aren't. And most of the pond, like about half of the pond is like the OG fishes, and the other half are like the ones that had babies. Because we only had one, we had 2 mamas the whole time. I didn't even know, and now we only have the one. And I know that because they had more fishes. So the one with dropsy, I'm just gonna name that one Grace for right now. Because I can't think of like any other fucking like Greek gods or goddess names, and I'm pretty sure it's a male. So I'm just gonna watch it, and then next week I'm gonna make a decision. Maybe buy the stuff now, just in case like God forbid this shit happens again. I have like a plan in place. Like, okay, we're not gonna fucking let it just suffer. We're gonna euthanize it humanely. I'd rather it be that way. Just because you buy like a burger or whatever at Carl's Jr., don't take the way that a life had to be taken from this earth for you to eat. That shit's always gonna happen. Even with vegetarians and vegans, y'all swear, like, come on, bro. Like, there's sentient life everywhere. Like, fucking nature is always at a frequency. You're not just, life ain't just, oh, it's a plant and it just is dead. No, it's life. It grows and it dies. That's fucking life, literally. So you're ending a life, just not a fucking mammal or an amphibian or whatever the fuck they call them shits, or livestock. You're ending the life of a plant, but that don't fucking make it that much better. You go for those, like, if you're just on that type of shit, oh, well, I don't want to kill animals and all that. Well, you're killing life either way. So that don't fucking mean shit. It's just like those jagoffs that they buy Teslas or EVs because they want to save the environment. Like, bruh, that shit hurts the environment. The amount of child labor that they use to dig the cobalt out of the earth, and then it fucks up the the fucking ozone layer, whatever that shit is. Don't quote me on that. I'm just saying, like, there's a whole fucking formula to this shit. And just because you kind of get around like using like burning the fucking greenhouse gases or whatever, you're still fucking some other shit up either way. So you might as well just buy a fucking a car with an engine and that you could put pump gas in it. You know what I mean? Going back to just the koi fish and all that. That's kind of the update with the pond. I love all my fishes, and it's unfortunate I have to do this, but it is what it is. Just a part of life and shit. And the owner, he was real somber about it. He was like, "Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear." I'm like, "Don't, bro. Like, I'm cool with it." Obviously, it's devastating to me that it's more devastating that the fish has it more than I have to euthanize it. But what makes me uncomfortable is that how long, like, if the fish has been like that for weeks, so how long has it actually been suffering? But I've seen it move. It still gets excited and it's moving. That's why I'm a little conflicted about it. I'm like, is it too early? Is it, I don't know. Like, I don't know this shit. Like, you dig what I'm saying? I didn't even know fish could have like diseases and bacterial infections like that. Actually, I do, because the mama did. The mama had like red spots and shit. I was like, oh, fuck no. So we did like a whole purification of the water. I think I dumped out like half of the pond water and then did like a real like cleanse to it. Like I bought like some pond solution to like basically kill like all the bacteria in the pond. And I think they say like once a year you should do it or something, like just to kind of like, because when you're dealing with a pond, you're dealing with life and a whole ecosystem. That pond fucking basically supports the lives of like mosquitoes, dragonflies, koi fish, whatever plants that are like the roots are going into the pond, the grass or whatever. So, that pond is actually supporting a whole ecosystem of life and nature. And so you kind of got to maintain that. You got to make sure it's not infected, especially for the fish. They're the ones that are living in the water. So I got to talk more with the guys at the koi store and stuff. So yesterday I cleaned the pond. I did some laundry. Trying to think. I got my groceries. I still gotta give him a bath and record. And I wanted to wash my car, but I ain't gonna do that shit. Washing my car, I always put it off. I've been putting it off for weeks and weeks, but it rained, and so at that point I should have just took the onus on myself to just wipe the car down real good with the towel and give it like a good shine or something like that. But I didn't end up doing that, so it doesn't really fucking matter at this point. I still need to record 2 songs off of the new album. What is it? So Thanksgiving, I took the holiday, and so I go to my abuelita Paco. I see 2 of my tios there, and oh no, wait, this wasn't Thanksgiving. This was fucking like, what was it, the week before? I don't know if did I say this on the podcast or whatever? I don't know, but it was good seeing my tio. I took pictures for the album, and then, oh no, okay, so I already said this. So for Thanksgiving, but anyway, bottom line is I took pictures for an album, right? It's gonna come out very soon. It might be out already by the time you see this. I don't know. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna say it now. It's called Mulberry. I'm gonna give you all the shit right now, because I think by the time this comes out, if it's the 5th, 7 days after the 5th, that's the 12th, right? Okay, right. So Mulberry is out today, or maybe the week before. I don't know when I'm gonna drop this, right? Because I think by the schedule, it is gonna drop the 12th. But Mulberry, right? The picture, because you're not going to get it. I'm going to explain this in the Instagram post, but for those who don't follow me on Instagram, Evil Emperor Serbs, follow me. I might follow you back. I don't know if you're cool. If you're weird, I'm going to look at your page. But give me a like and a comment, right? So just a quick synopsis of this. My grandmother had a mulberry tree in her backyard. I think my mom or my dad told me that my grandfather planted it. And when I was like young and shit, that that tree will come in clutch, bro. That shit would have, mulberries is a type of blackberry, but blackberries are fat, plump, and round, and the fucking mulberries are like fucking more or longer and shit. Pause. I was super pause on everything. So those would stain the shit out of your shirt. You had any color like this, and you would get the berry juice on your fucking shirts. Finito. Throw that shit in the garbage. You're gonna have that. That's a permanent dye. I'm pretty sure if we had harvested enough of those berries, you could have dyed your hair, and that shit would have been fucking dyed for a whole year. You know what I mean? So with the mulberry tree, it was a significant thing in my life because I remember my cousin Weddle, he would climb the tree when we would play hide and go seek, and we always knew that was his hiding spot. Then let's see, when my grandfather passed, that tree fell over and shit. Like, it just mysteriously, and I didn't even know that. I just thought that my grandmother chopped the tree down. I don't know what the fuck I don't know the timeline of this shit, right? So that was always symbolic to me because my grandmother basically raised a lot of my cousins, like for sure me, my sister, KO, like fucking his sisters, like a gang of my baby cousins, and like, you know what I mean? Like, not only in that house, not only did she raise like my dad and all his brothers, but she raised like all her grandchildren in that house, and even like some other kids from like extended families, like my tia Rosa's fucking kids and all that shit, and even whatever, like my tia Juanita's son. Like, so that house had like a lot of people that my grandma took care of. That's why like I wanted the album to be symbolic of my childhood and growing, and that Mulberry is basically me saying I'm always in a transition and it's never final. You know what I mean? I took photos of me wearing clothes that I wore when I was younger, like Vans and long black socks. I don't even wear that shit anymore. Cargos, I don't wear cargos really. And, just a burgundy imperial shirt, right? Which symbolizes the red to the burgundy because the berries were bright red. Then as they would ripen, they would turn burgundy and then finally purple. That's why I don't know if I'm going to make it the final photo, like the official photo for it where I'm standing, but that's why I have purple Vomeros on. And then the jeans kind of don't the shorts and the jeans, the pants and shit, they don't really count. But, the burgundy fucking Adidas track shirt I have, and then the burgundy hat, because it's kind of like, what I'm trying to say is when I was a kid, I'm like the fruit that my grandmother raised. And now as a man, I'm like ripening, and I'm like the fruits of my grandmother's labor, because my grandmother literally picked the fields. So there's a whole lot of like symbolism with that album, because it's me going back to my roots. Also lyrically too, it's kind of like I'm giving you like my shit, like my emotions now and how they tie into how I felt before. Like I'm talking like I give more shit about like Raul, and I broke down on that, like that whole Mulberry track was basically me fucking just, I think I was walking around LA and I finally just like was just dumping all my emotions out. I just heard that beat, and it just, for some reason, it put me in like a introspective, retrospective type of vibe. And I was like, okay, like I can actually make something different. It ain't gonna be a hook and verses and all that shit. It's gonna be like me dumping off my feelings, and that's how I wanted it to be. I didn't want it to be refined. I didn't want to kind of like chisel it and make it like more polished. I wanted it to be raw. Like that whole Mulberry album is raw, because I feel like it's a self-produced album, but it's more than that. It's kind of like, it started off as what I wanted the next green light to be, but it just ended up being like kind of in its own pocket. So that's why it's only going to be 8 tracks. And I'm doing some different shit on there. I'm singing on there. So I would appreciate everybody to go check the album out, because it means a lot to me. The fact that I could represent my family. And I've been wanting to do that, but this is in its own way. Like, it's in its own chamber. Like, I don't even think I'm going to do any sequels or no shit like that, because this is very like a time encapsulating piece of music that I made that it just wouldn't fit anywhere else. Like, it ain't, none of those shits are going to be on a green light. None of those are going to be on like a whatever, you know. They all kind of stand shoulder to shoulder in a body or of work that I made at the time. And all those records I did like hella fast. Like, I think if we look at like from when I did them to the beats and all that shit, it might have been like a month or something like that, top to bottom, just recording everything, making the beats and all that. I don't think there's like, actually, I don't know. I don't really remember. I just know that I made all the beats kind of like fucking like real quick, and then I recorded it like real soon after. So it was kind of like I made those beats kind of at the end of Green Light 5. Then when I started doing the fucking album with NC, that album came out in the middle of like the album with me and NC and like Green Light 5. I gotta go back. I could be wrong, but it's just all in that. All those 3 albums were being made together. So, and it's interesting because they all have their kind of own similar sounds, even though I'm talking about kind of the same shit. I think Green Light 5 is more aggressive. Mulberry is more definitely introspective and dark, and honestly, it's kind of like sad at times, but like, it is what it is. Just Mulberry is kind of a depressing song, but the next album, I promise you, I'm going to be in a whole different chamber of shit that y'all are going to love. And I really look forward, because I'm dropping 2 albums this month. That the first one is going to be like literally a taste teaser of the next album, because the next album I'm going to make sure is fucking like rocket fuel, bro. Like, you're going to get so fucking high off of this shit. You ain't even going to know how to come down off of this. Let me see. This shit keeps fucking going back to sleep. I got to change the settings or some shit on this thing. So what else we got? Today, I woke up, got the fucking Christmas tree, took the kid to the vet. He got a shot and his nails trimmed. Then I did the recycling. I got some Carl's Jr. Shout out to Carl's Jr. The only reason why I'm shouting y'all out is because my grandmother always took us to Carl's Jr. to get spicy chicken sandwiches and fucking Famous Stars. So big up to Carl's Jr. for fucking helping my childhood. Everyone else could suck a dick. Then I took the recycling, put gas in me and my mom's car, and then I was tired. I took a nap. I woke up, took Presley for a walk, and then now we're here. So I'm just hella busy, and I'm gonna have a new schedule coming up soon, and I'm really excited. I'm in a really rare time in my life, man, where I'm not grieving and I'm actually like flourishing, like mentally. You know, when I first started the podcast, it was like, you know, kind of my anxiety kind of would progress, and now I feel like I'm not really at that point where I'm hurting or anything like that anymore. You know what I mean? I'm in a really good space. I'm in a really good time in my life where I could just appreciate everything, and you know, I'm just loving and living life, man. I've been listening to Mary J. Blige on the 29th of November, which is a couple days ago, was the fucking like 31st anniversary of My Life. That album is amazing, bro. I didn't even know that. I didn't even plan it out. It was just, you know, like, I've been wanting to get in the R&B chamber in a while and just showcase my singing, so I needed to get inspired. And why not do it by like literally the queen of like R&B, hip hop, that type of chamber, you know what I mean? And that album is actually pretty fucking sad, but it's so like upbeat and like it's just right up my alley of shit. Just like real, the writing is awesome. She sings her ass off. The beats are amazing. You know, and it's not even, you would think I would be listening to My Life when I'm like depressed, but I'm not. I'm fucking actually really happy, and that album's really fucking sick. So I'm gonna do an album review next time, because I have an album review I'm gonna do today of an amazing album. So shout out to Mary J. Blige. Been watching Raw. Raw was cool. We really gonna see like Braun Breaker come out and do his own thing. He's like a really, really good wrestler right now. His mic skills are amazing. So we're gonna see, man. We're really gonna see. Raw's like cool, but like they still got to figure the storylines out and what they're trying to do, because I really don't know what the fuck they're doing anymore. Yeah, John Cena's Intercontinental Champion. And then he dropped the belt on Raw only for Dominic to retain it when Liv Morgan came back at a Survivor Series. I still haven't seen that pay-per-view. I need to buy, because I cut my ESPN, Hulu, and Disney thing off, so I'm gonna have to just buy ESPN and get it like that. Just watch it from there. But off the top, I could tell when Liv cut her promo, she wasn't all the way there. Like you could tell, like the she's been off for months. I think I forgot her last. I feel like she wasn't even at WrestleMania. I don't even think she wrestled at Mania. I forgot when she dropped her belt. I feel like it was random, like a random Raw or something like that. And I forgot who became the first world heavyweight, the women's world champion after that. I can't remember. I definitely don't think it was Rhea. It might have been Io. Now that I think about it, I think Io was the first champion back after Liv dropped it. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't really care, because like at this point, like I just watch it for the wrestling and the stories are dog shit. But it does seem like with Liv, they're trying to get the gold again. That's what Liv, her mission statement was. So if I were to guess, Finn and JD are going to become world tag team champions again. Liv's going to be world heavyweight women's world champion, and then Raquel and Roxanne are going to be the tag team champions. And they always do this, you know what I mean? It's going to be like, there's going to be one pay-per-view where they win all the championships so they can all come out and hold the titles up, which is going to be sick because there's like fucking 6 of them now, right? Roxanne, Raquel, Finn and JD, and then Liv and Dom. Yeah, 6 of them. So I would imagine if it's not the Royal Rumble, it might be something. Honestly, if they're going to win all the titles again, they should do it at the Rumble. I would imagine. Because who has the fucking title now? Oh, Stephanie Vaquer. So if they want to slow burn it, they could and make them all the champions at WrestleMania. I think that'd be better, just because if they were to win all the titles at Rumble, it'd be too close. You know what I mean? Liv just came back. Oh, they're just, it'll really feel like, oh, they just gave them the titles. Like we saw this coming. But if they stretch it out to Mania, they have 4 months to, if they're going to periodically every pay-per-view get the gold up until Mania where they all have it, and then they lose the titles down the line, that'd be cool. Or like, let's just say they're chasing all the belts up until WrestleMania where they're all going to be on, and then they all win the gold together. Either way, like I think personally, I think that'll be a better plan. Like if Liv wins the Rumble, Raquel and Roxanne are chasing the titles, but they can't, they're like almost there, but they every time they try to get them, like they lose. And then JD and Finn, same thing. And then Dom, there's no way I see him dropping the Intercontinental belt anytime soon. I honestly feel like he'll drop the AAA belt first before he drops the Intercontinental title. And they might do something where he becomes a very long reigning Intercontinental champion. I don't see Gunther going for the title. I feel like he's going to want to go for the big gold. So right now, the only thing that's keeping me interested is the Judgment Day and the storylines connected to that. The Kabuki Warriors is like, fucking, that's just background noise at this point. The whole Io and Rhea thing is not really getting me excited. SmackDown is kind of like I can't even watch that shit, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna have Fridays off, so who knows? Maybe I'll start doing fucking SmackDown reviews too and see how bad that shit is. I don't know. Cody's the only thing that's got people watching SmackDown is fucking Cody Rhodes, because besides that, no one's checking for Damian. No one's checking for fucking who else is on there? Nia Jax, and you know what I mean? Like Friday, SmackDown really lost its aura, like after like pretty much after Jacob got injured. I feel like they had nothing. Like I felt like Jacob really held down SmackDown, and it's just like I don't know, man. I honestly don't know how they're gonna piece it up. But when Jacob comes back, trust me, they gotta make him the face, and they gotta give him like they gotta put him in the singles picture for sure. If they're not gonna have him around the bloodline, they gotta be doing it. You know, I wasn't he what championship belt did he win? Fuck. What title did he have? It wasn't the Intercontinental title. He had a belt, though. He had a belt for like a little bit. Was he the Intercontinental champion? Fuck, I don't remember. Fuck, I'm drawing blanks over here. Anyway. Yeah, that's pretty much what I had for y'all and shit. I want to do a kick test. If y'all can't see that shit, the box is right there. So let's see. I have it down over here. Let's see. Okay. We're going to do a kick test of the Nike Vomero 5s. These are fucking amazing sneakers, and I'm going to tell you why right now for all of you to see. All right, let me get that right there. Size. All right, the Nike Vomero 5, at a retail price of $170, the Nike Vomero 5 is a sneaker that originally debuted in the early 2000s as a running shoe and has been reimagined for modern everyday wear. It features a richly layered design with a combination of synthetic leather and mesh for breathability and structure, which is very true. Plastic caging on the sides for support and comfortable Zoom air cushioning for a responsive feel. Very true as well. The shoe has a utilitarian aesthetic with practical elements like a durable rubber outsole for traction and reflective details for visibility. For me, I can't believe this shoe is popular. It has a very different look but very familiar feel for finding its space in this dad sneakers era. For me, the silhouette might be my overall pick between Asics and New Balance. It has a unique look. The upper mesh is thin and breathable, but it doesn't feel cheap like a New Balance 740. The lower is where it shines, though. Deep cushion insoles and bouncy air technology will put momentum in every step with hardly a thought. My feet got tired of walking before I even felt like the shoe was caving in on me. The grip of the bottom outsole literally grabs the floor as you step and pivot, making lunges very safe to do. This is like a great workout shoe. For casual wear, I'll give it a 9. You could put these on and do everything. Maybe it doesn't have that extra outsole like a Vomero 18 to give you a better run, but for an all-around day, these offer superior comfort. There's so many specific colorways that you could wear anything with a pair. Fucking all kinds of reds and blacks and pinks and beiges and blues and maybe not yellow, but obviously you have something like a tan, right? For heavy wear, I'll give it an 8. I'm not saying you could hike in these all day because that'll really put the shoes to the limit, but I've been beating these down on my 4-mile walks and shit, and they're like pristine. Like this is like after miles I've been putting down on them, you know what I mean? For the price, I give it a 9. Any shoe that you can style, beat down, and look cool while maintaining comfort without sacrificing your feet is an automatic win. Does it fly? Yes. The shoe is making me want to give all my New Balance and Asics away. I think I found my perfect shoe with these. Sure, it's not as stylish as or has like brand popularity as a Jordan, but in terms of competing with its contemporaries, the Nike Vomero 5 is a top 5 shoe right now, maybe even top 3. Amazing, right? And we're gonna do a back-to-back review. This time, we're gonna have an album review of Schoolboy Q's Blank face. Where conceptual albums fall short of just a few thematic song titles and a cover art, Q crafts his most ambitious album in his career. TDE was running hip-hop and setting an impressive bar to be upheld for the West Coast. Fans witnessed the great debuts of J-Rock, Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q, SZA, and Isaiah Rashad. So as time progressed, we all wondered who would light the city on fire once again. Sophomore projects usually haunt a rapper's career. This one defines it. A piece of music that encapsulates Los Angeles in one listen. Torch opens the album with a hypnotic bass line with Anderson .Paak narrating 52nd and Figueroa as a shredding guitar gives way to a chaotic beat breaking with pulsing strings and crazy sound effects as Q screams, "Look into my eyes." If this song doesn't make you want to burn a house down or beat somebody up, I don't know what will. Lord Have Mercy is my favorite song with Alchemist, with production from Alchemist as Q pledges oath to his gang and highlights the hypocrisy. That part is a funny but turn up trap song with Kanye closing it with a dumb but charismatic verse. Groovy Tony doubles with Eddie Kane on the deluxe version as one of the illest Jadakiss features that are only on physical copies, I think. This song is exactly what a holla sounds like. You're on the edge of your seat with every line. A humming bass is paired with this eerie synth-like jingle, and my heart, with Jadakiss saying, "My heart's getting colder when I hug your mom and look over her shoulder. You notice I got the blank face." Coldest line of the album. Eddie Kane lashes out with a great appearance from Dem Joints, who sings like a pastor over this haunting beat. Know You're Wrong sees Q rapping about envious leeches over a beautiful piano and saxophone melody. The second half of the song ties in with the great hook, "Girl, jump in my bank account so I can deposit you. I'm going through withdrawals and I can't afford to lose." Right out is like fucking is hard. It's like one of the most insane vibes of any hip hop song I've ever heard, with an incredible Vince Staples verse, along with Q speaking on both cribs from different gangs. Whatever You Want is a nice commercial pop song that could pass for a dance EDM track. Q sounds very different on By Any Means, like if he pitched his voice up, like B-roll spitting over a thunderous, sparse beat that allows his voice to carry the song. The music video alone makes this even more dope. E40 has a charismatic, funny verse on Dope Dealer, as even the less serious tracks serve as dynamic moments in the album. John Muir is a menacing ride through the perspective of a gang member with a fitting Boys in the Hood cadence. Belling on the motherfucking street, y'all. Cruising down the street in my 6 foot, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing. Big Body has a holy matrimony of West Coast artists with the dog pound over a funky Tyler the Creator beat. It's a well-needed, goofy, groovy song to offset the depth of the album. Never Change is a beautifully real track about how poverty is a vicious cycle carried from generations, with SZA singing like an angel and Q even writing out the track singing as well. La 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 la. He kind of copied, You Could Kiss Your Ass Good. But so I could see why, he had Jada on there if he was listening to the Locks. Straight Ballin' is a hustler's anthem. Snoop Ain't the Only Rich Crip is like funny as hell to me, with the homage to Tupac in the hook. Black Thoughts is honestly a sad song about how pride and ego keeps brothers locked up, how withholding the street code only hurts us more in the end over a more boom bap dark beat. The message of all lives matter being Bloods and Crips, or just gang members in general, is really profound. Blank Face, the track, embodies the album's theme, with Anderson .Paak narrating the synopsis, painting a beautifully dark landscape of Los Angeles as a hustling gangster. The funky bass is the spine to a colorful sonic track. Q raps in classic storytelling fashion. The drink don't get me buzzed, they kill my cuz, Ash and Dubs. Niggas hate, but where's the love? What sounds like Kendrick Lamar saying blank face repeatedly in a warped, dreamy sound effect brings a sense of like one either being high or delusional or even dying. Overtime featuring Miguel breaks the album when the content needs it most. It's like Q reminds us that he can make a Man of the Year track whenever he wants, except this is a more of a sexual banger. Nothing real in depth lyrically here, just pure ill cadence and good energy. As mundane as the hook is, in the context of this album, the song hits very strong. Justine Skye bodied this track. one of the rare moments I feel where the feature outshines or shines just as bright as the main artist. Tukey Knows 2 Part 2 is a classic gangbanging track where Q, Traffic, and TF represent Phi Deuce Hoover. With the music videos in the album, it turns this into a cinematic masterpiece, with this song being the cultivation of being a street dude. You rob enough people or you do enough dirty deeds, eventually it will catch up to you. As this track speaks to the incarceration one faces as a black man. Jail lingo, bravado, and pride keep the lifestyle alive. Traffic's high-pitched nasal voice cuts through the beat with his aggressive delivery. TF brings his swagger. He sounds like the most hood on this song. I got an 8-ball, I got a rondo. Might be the most iconic line of the album. The somber piano loop killer bass line and fat drums knock even the weakest speakers out. We might die for this shit, might go down for this shit. You know, as gunshots, sirens, and helicopters blare out in the background, the message is very clear. The streets leave you only two options, death or shackles. Absolutely incredible masterpiece of an album, and I give it an A+. The message of the day, man, is enjoy life. You know, find out what you enjoy about life, or just make life enjoyable for yourself. It's just as simple as that. A life, you know, misery loves company, dog. You don't want to be out here like fucking playing yourself. Like, just find out what you love to do, what you enjoy, and just enjoy it. Enjoy life. This is the God's Hour.
Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to fill the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower, to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower, to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower, to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower, to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. You wet Prada, the devil like inside your box now, while the angels fly over my headstone.